So this is goodbye. Lay down your soul. Metal tenfold. Riding our stallions. Sing the chants with Roy the King. Come make a night with us. We're about to fuck.
All right, we're live, baby. Unscheduled show.
Go.
All right, so we've been just shooting the shit about an idea we're coming up with, guys, just so everyone knows. Let's go around the top, all the way around, introduce yourselves, man, and then we'll get into what we're actually fucking doing.
Right, I'm Jeff, better known as Mantas. I'm the founder member of Venom, and I'm now with Venom Inc. So there you go. Next.
You're up.
Oh, 1 second. It's a little delay. I don't know what's happening. What you say, because was one moment no sound. To present or?
Yep.
Okay, because was no sound, only picture.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so my name is Saško Moiso, founder of the Metal Madness Promotion, independent webzine from 2004. So I help from underground bands, from the bands who don't have a chance to go, on the radio, because in the past, like the last 15 years, was terrible to help or get promotions or something like that. And I can say I'm fucking proud to be with Jeff on the stream and Enzo with fucking Slamma, and I miss my cousin. So wherever you are, we love you.
Praise Milo. Right. I'm Enzo Annecchini from Slamma, guitarist from Slamma, original member, UK thrash band Slamma.
I'm Dunn Cartwright from Pure Metal of the Gods. I created the magazine basically to help all the underground bands with the international bands that are well known, like Venom Inc, Enzo from Slammer, and we're here on the Boneyard. This segment is actually called Into the Pit.
Yeah, so I'll update the title and stuff. And you guys know me, Bones. I've been pushing the underground punk heavy metal scene. And then we branched out. We kind of do any artists that want to come on and share their stuff, but we specialize in metal here, baby. So, yeah, we're talking about bringing out a new radio show because with the Backbone Hour, I haven't mentioned anything, but my partner in that project has had some family shit go down and can no longer do that show. So I can't do the Backbone without the guy, So I was like, well, I got to go on and make another radio segment, and that's where Into the Pit developed. And that was Dean and I. You were the one that kind of I mentioned it to him, and he made it happen like within days. So let us know how you do that shit, man.
That's what I do, man. I network. And anybody in the music industry, I believe, knows this. It's all about networking and keeping your friends, because back in the 80s and 90s, we all helped out each other. Am I right, Jeff, Enzo?
Oh,
Yeah.
different
Absolutely.
ballgame.
I mean, the model of the music industry has changed dramatically. I mean, I can quick tale before we go on. I can still remember when we released black metal, myself and Kronos, we took a bunch of black metal album covers into Newcastle city centre, into the record stores, and we made our own displays in the stores in HMV and Volume and Virgin and all that kind of stuff, And we were sort of, way back, even pre-recording anything, when we were still a four-piece. We were sort of photocopying things and flying them on sticking them on the walls. We had a place in Newcastle called the Handyside Arcade where all the rock and metal kids went on a Saturday afternoon And we just went up there and just plastered the place with little Venom posters, you know, all hand-drawn shit, you know. It's but today, you know, it's like click of a button and you're there, you know. So I'm still a fucking dinosaur when it comes to music.
I've
You know,
never.
You've got to
If you
ask
see
Jeff
me
to
eating
do
some
it for you
fucking
today.
plants or something, like, just ignore me, you know. Fucking.
Jeff, I was going to ask you that. I mean, you've been around since, you know, the early 80s and the late 70s in the music industry. So my question to you is, from the time that you joined into the music industry with the labels and all that, how much has it changed and evolved now compared to back then?
It's honestly, it's unrecognizable to me. It really is. You know, I still don't fucking understand fucking spotty tunes and hi-fi or whatever the fuck you call them. I'm to, you know, and you know, I'm still old school in everything. You know, it's like, but you know, I'm the consummate creative, if you like, whereby I can come into this studio and I can write and I can create and I can write songs, I can do artwork, all that kind of stuff, right? I can do the whole 9 yards, all right here in this little man cave that I've got. But when I've got that finished product in my hand, what the fuck do I do with it? You know? But that's where in the past, you know, you never had to worry about that because it was, you know, you recorded something. And I swear to God that, you know, in the early days, Neat Records didn't even know what a fucking Venom song sounded like. You know, we would, you know, the first album, we presented it to David Woods, the owner of Impulse Studios, Neat Records. You know, and I mean, he didn't check the content or anything like that. He didn't know what a fucking pentagram was or anything. I think if he'd known what we were singing about and what was going on the record and what the fucking album cover was about, he probably would have fucking threw it straight in the bin, you know? But there was no quality control and a fuck all. It was just like, there's the master tapes. Great, like, see you lads. And that was it. But yeah, it's changed so much. In a way, it's changed. The advent of the internet and, you know, all that kind of stuff, it's been a blessing and a curse. Because, you know, what do bands make money out of these days? It's touring.
Yeah.
You know?
Or your merch.
We were just having this conversation before we came on air. Even that is getting difficult now, you know, especially at bands like our level, you know, when you're sort of in that mid-range level. I mean, yeah, next month we're headlining one of the big stages at fucking Hellfest. What you don't see behind the scenes is how we travel to get there and fucking, you know, all the shit that goes on before the show.
And you've got to eat
with a huge entourage or anything like that, you know. So, you know, for the big, huge established bands, then I'm not saying it's easy, you know, but let's put it this way, and I'll ask Enzo this question as well. Whose position would you rather be in right now? Yours or fucking James Hetfield? It's like, you know, pick a lifestyle, my friend. You know, what do you want? Like, do you want to be in the back of a van or a private jet?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there is a two type, you know, if you want to sell for the green gold or if you want to play the music for your soul. So I prefer never to sell out and play for my soul, you know. There are, like you say, two types. So you want to go in the jet set or you want to travel by the train. Everything what you think and what you want.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, do you know what it is when it comes down to absolute rock bottom basics? What is the music industry? What is the music industry? It's a job.
Yeah, a business.
You're a commodity. That's what it is.
Yeah, but before to go to leave from that, you know,
what you're looking at, and we're the ones who have got to go out there. So it's still a fucking job. It's not a 9 to 5, obviously, and I'm sure we've all done that in the past. I know I have. And there's a lot of bands out there who still do the 9 to 5, and then they go out and do their shows, you know, when they can get time away from their work, because, you know, it's great saying, oh, it's all for the music, and all that, like, but at the end of the day, you have to provide for your family, you have to put a roof over your head, you have to put food on the table, And you know, it's not an easy profession to be in, you know, especially today. I would hate, I mean, even in the position we are in now, you know, where I know there's probably a lot of young bands would kill to be even in the position we are, but I would hate to be a band starting out right now. Just
Yeah.
as much as I was
Oh,
hate to be a
it's
kid
hard.
growing up. Yeah, it's fucking hard. I would hate, you know, I've got 2 grandkids. You know, one's 3-year-old and one's 6-year-old.
Yeah, now the freezing.
You gotta have a fucking label and say, oh, fuck off. No, I'm really glad that I'm a child of the fucking 70s and 80s. Really fucking glad.
Hey,
Oh.
Jeff,
I got the most of her though.
Jeff, I was going to ask you a question for you and Enzo, because a lot of young musicians today don't understand how important it is to stretch your fingers and your forearms before playing. What techniques do you guys use to warm up and stretch so you don't hurt yourself or develop carpal tunnel?
To be brutally honest, I just play. You know, I mean, it's well known that, you know, anybody who knows anything about me knows that I've trained all my life. You know, since I was 10-year old, I've been into the martial arts and stuff. You know, so I've been lucky in that respect that I've always, you know, I've been a gym rat all my life. Let's put it that way. But actual techniques for guitar and stuff and all this stretch, I never do any of that, to be brutally honest. Probably because I'm not interested in being a shredder, you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm not really not interested in being that. I mean, I don't doubt the technical ability of some guitarists out there who are fucking incredible. I've just seen some footage of Nuno Betancourt and you just go, what the fuck are you doing? You know,
Yeah.
it's
Well, I've always kind of looked at it like, it looks like you know your scales real well, but like, are you actually writing songs or are you just putting scales into someone's riff? You know what I mean? Like,
that's the one thing I've always said, that if someone was to offer me the choice of 2 gifts, and one was to be the greatest guitarist the world had ever seen, all the theory, all the speed, all the chops, everything like that, greatest guitarist, oh, fucking everybody goes, wow, what a player, or the greatest songwriter, I would choose the songwriter every single time. Every time. I don't see myself as a guitar hero. I see myself as a pretty decent songwriter. That's it.
What about you, Enzo?
Yeah, I'm pretty much singing from the same page as Jeff. I mean, I just before a gig, I'll warm up if I'm in a changing room, because a lot of the gigs I play with the other band, Wolves in Winter, we're just starting out. Like Jeff was saying, you wouldn't like to be in a band that's starting out. We're a debut band. We play the shitholes, all the little pubs that don't have no back room or anything. I just tend to go through the songs beforehand, unplugged, and just warm up that way. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a shredder. I don't do many solos. I'm more of a riff man, and I prefer to riff. So it's just about getting nimble by just warming up beforehand.
Best riff.
Do you know what I mean? Rather than sort of going through scales. I don't even know any scales. I don't even know.
I don't even know all the names of the strings on my guitar, man.
I know the basic chords like E, D, C, G, B.
Stuff they drill into you, right? Like you can't help but know that.
The thing is, though, the thing is, it's like some of the greatest rock anthems on this planet have been written by guitarists or musicians who are not virtuosos. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you've just got to think of. I mean, this is another tale that I normally say to people. Me and my girlfriend one night, a long, long time ago, we were sitting up late and we were just sitting there with a remote channel hopping all night, bored. You know, when you should go to bed, but you're sitting there going, no. And then we hit this channel and it was AC/DC, and I'm sure it was something like Rock in Rio. It was fucking colossal. There was about 250,000 people there. Angus Young walked to the front of the stage and went, ba-da-dam, 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 bam, 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 bam. 3 fucking chords. The place went mental.
Yeah, right.
Crazy. You know, songs like that. And another one of the greatest songwriters, Paul Stanley from Kiss. How many rock anthems has that guy written? You know, yeah, and I mean, you can go further back than that. You know, it's like I would hardly say that George Harrison, Ringo Starr, and fucking Paul McCartney were virtuoso musicians, but look at the songs, and that at the end of the day is what it's all about. It's about songs,
creativity, They're creating something. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree
you're
with
creating. I mean, like I've said, this is my studio, right?
It's like a therapy.
I come in this place every single day of my life, right? Sometimes I'm in here all day. Other times I'll pop down for an hour or two. But if I pick up one of these guitars, which is sitting around here, right? There's a lot of guitars just around. If I pick one of them up, I'm not going to sit there and play fucking scales for 8 hours a day. I know the basics of the pentatonic scale, and that's it.
No.
Yeah.
You know what? One of my biggest fears was when I was in Japan, and I got an interview by a fucking guitar magazine. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck am I going to say, you know?
Right.
But Jeff, you've written some great songs. I mean, one of my favorites.
You've just said it there. You produced some great songs. What you didn't say was you produced some great solos and some. You're a fucking shred.
Oh. No, hold on right there. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. Because you've written some great songs with some great solos, especially on Channeling of the Priest.
All right. Yeah.
That one when you listen to the previous albums, yeah, they were great, but when that song came out, when you guys recorded it back in the day on the live album, when you guys did it on it was the double live album, the Normandy, I think it was. Venom
It was Eine Kleine Nacht music, and there was one night we did it at the Ritz in New York.
Right, exactly. And when you did that song, and it was just like when I heard it, I was like, holy shit, where did this come from? Because it was something totally different from Venom, you know? It really was.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So do you know the thing with me when I write songs is when I write stuff like that, I'm always looking for the hook line and the chorus. That's the big thing for me. It's like where is the audience going to join in? If we're going to play this live, where's the audience going to join in? When's it going to be their turn? Yeah, you know, I'm really not interested in the fucking music police standing there going, oh, he's using the fucking diminished mode. He's using these. It's like, fuck off.
Right.
That's what I'm always looking for, you know. And I spend a lot of time on arrangement. And when it comes to solos, because I'm the only guitarist in the band, then yeah, the job falls to me. But I always go by what my favorite guitarist of all time said many years in an interview, and that is Gary Moore. And he said, the guitar solo in a song has to take the song to another level because you are essentially replacing the vocals, and the vocals are the most important part of any song. It doesn't matter how good your fucking riffs are, the vocals are the most important thing. You know?
Yeah, because it carries the music.
Yeah, that's what carries the music.
Well, more people relate to the words though. Like a lot of them don't play guitar like us or play instruments. They're just general fans of music in that way, right? So when they hear the lyrics, they actually feel something now, and that's what really initially pulls in those non-instrumental fans, you know, just music fans, right?
Yeah. And the other thing is, if there's going to be a radio edit of a rock song, what's the first? If they've got to edit that song down to 3 minutes for the radio, what's the first thing that goes? The guitar solo.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Get out. It's the old adage, isn't it? Don't chorus, get to the chorus.
I don't know. For me, it was back in the 1996. I for the first time listened Venom, of course. You know, Witching Hour, Leading Satan, then black metal. So I say, wow, this is my music. You know, I was then 8 years old. I started to play guitar, you know. And then later, of course, when we meet with the Milo from the Slammer, because he was Serbo-Bosnian, and we didn't meet never, because we're in Macedonia. There was, England. And when we meet in '99, he give me the tape, of course, the idol from the Slammer, and then I listen to the 10-minute zone. I say, oh, this is something new. Because when you're 9 or 10 years old, kid, and back in the day, Macedonia, my main country, was poor nation. Like there was only 15 albums you can have it. Sepultura, Metallica, Kiss, the
Yeah, your
main
top five, right?
that where everyone have. So then the first internet cafe comes. Then 2002, I buy my first shirt from Venom. Yeah, I pay by internet then. So there was one guy. So in that time was a fortune. Like my father needs to work 21 day to pay the shirt. So that time was, man.
Hope
So
you still got it.
yeah.
Hope you still got the T-shirt.
Right?
So I love the old school. So, and I'm very proud, to have a guy like Jeff to teach us in some good way, not bad way, because sometimes when you idolizing someone,
You fanboy. I know doing the show. I fanboyed a few times, and it's like,
so you can take the negative stuffs and the positive stuffs, because you
Mhm.
your band, oh, like, wait a second, he try alcohol, okay, I'm gonna try. Hey, he take drugs, I'm gonna drug. So it's the mentality where some fans have it. So I decide, like, how to say, small kid, yeah, I will have like 5-6 bands, of course. You can't every band be your idol. There's this
Mhm.
band in which genre, one or two. Normal, like, if you start with technical death metal, of course you have here Nile Necrophagus, but we all start with the old school, because it wasn't Venom for me personally. It wasn't Venom, now Venom Inc. Jeff, or Possessed, or that. So I think we won't have metal industry. Of course, I don't want to say Slayer, Metallica, and that stuff.
Big Four. Yeah.
So Jeff, thank you, and I'm proud to have 5 or 6 times meet you on the different stage.
I don't even think Jeff remembers when they played in Texas down in El Paso a couple of years ago. I opened act for you guys, Jeff.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
No way. Eh?
Yeah, I opened act for them, and it was like a bunch of bands. But like Jeff said, you don't remember half of the people that you
Well, you
tour
meet
with,
so
you
many
know?
people and stuff,
Yeah.
and there's so
No,
many
yeah,
tours,
that's it.
so many shows.
Sometimes,
Like,
sometimes you feel bad, when somebody comes up and they're all enthusiastic and stuff, and you're desperately trying to remember where you've met them before. And
right?
nope.
I've had
Sorry.
that happen to me. Actually, I was down in Monterrey, Mexico during Metal Fest when Venom played with Accept, and I had some guys come up to me and all, and I'm like, they're talking to me. I'm like, and I looked at my girlfriend at the time. She's all, "You don't know them, do you?" I can't remember them.
Yeah, I probably know them, but yeah.
It's one of them things where you just, there's so many people, and every night's a different night, because either 6 months down the line you're with a different group, and it goes on and on depending how much you tour.
Well, you figure if you do, say, a full-on tour, you're doing 200 shows in the year at minimum. That's a lot of people to come in contact with and try to remember names and stuff. It's ridiculous.
Being 14 years in the business, of course.
Mhm.
Plus,
Jeff.
the fact I'm fucking 62 now, so it goes in there and dribbles out.
We'll just get rid of that. We don't need that anymore.
I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago.
Hey Jeff,
How
I
are
was gonna ask you a question though. How's the health going since your surgery and all that you had?
I mean, I've just passed the 5-year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
And, you know, that would be a different program, and it's
Yeah. We'll get into that later in the shows when you get fucking got shit going.
You know, the one thing I've had to specify now is, though, I can't do the massively long tours that we did. You know, it's just not possible. It really is. You know, I mean, honestly, you know, I can be great for fucking days, weeks, whatever. I still train every morning. You know, I don't train as hard as I used to, but obviously I still train every morning.
You need 7 kilometers for 10 for sure.
But you know, I honestly, you know, being brutally honest about it, I have days when I just can't fucking function. You know.
I know how you feel. I really do. I just got done having surgery 6 months ago. Like I tell everybody, I'm all, dude, I can't do what I used to do a year ago anymore.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Do we need to start to speak? Okay.
I mean, it really takes a toll on you. You know, it really does.
God, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing for me with that, because I mean, as everybody knows, I was clinically dead for just over 5 minutes at the roadside, you know, and
you know, me and you are brothers in that. I died on the operating table for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Hi from COVID, 2019.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me personally. I mean, everybody. I've spoke to a lot of people. I've done a lot of reading about this and everything. It changes you massively, and for anybody who hasn't experienced it, I don't think they'll ever understand. I mean, even my girlfriend who was there, she saw me die. You know, she came to the side of the ambulance and she said, "How are you feeling, babe?" And I looked at her and I went, "Actually, the pain's gone." Bang. And that was it. You know, I was over. The doctor kicked the ambulance door shut. So she saw me go, you know. So it's had a massive effect on her. But, you know, I'm not the same. I know that for a fact. I'm not the same.
No, you never. When I had my surgeries as a kid, I was only 18 when I first died a few times during my surgeries and stuff.
Yeah.
And it took me years to understand how it changed me. Maybe because I was so young. I don't know. I'm just coming to terms with it now in that sense where it's like, though I knew there was always something, you know, there was a different aspect about me, but it wasn't until the last couple of years that I realized, fuck, now I know why, you know, and that's why, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing I still struggle with as well is because we were on a European tour when I got the news that Killjoy had died of a heart attack. And I mean, you know, prior to doing the American tour with Killjoy and Necrophagia, I'd never met that guy before. But you know, when you meet somebody and you just go, man, like that. It was so strange. I'd never met the guy before, and you know, he didn't look like anybody I would want to hang out with or anything like that, you know. But we became such great friends, and you know, when I got the news that he was gone, I'm like, holy shit. Then I had my heart attack. I came back, and then I got the news that the photographer on the European tour had died of a heart attack. So 2 good friends either side of me, they both lost their lives to the same thing that took me. I'm still here. And there is times I go, what the fuck? How? And is there a purpose? Why? You know, why was I allowed back? But it fucks with your head. It really
it does. It does.
It does.
Yeah.
It really
That's kind of how the Boneyard and my doctor used to call me Dead Man Walking all the time, right? Because even him and I had a pretty good sense of humor together, right? Like I'd make fun of his bedhead. I'm like, fuck, did you even sleep? Then he'd shoot you up. You're like, do you even know what you're shooting me up with, man? Fuck it, what are you doing here, right? Fucking, but yeah, it totally changes your aspect, man, when you go through something like that, even as small or as quick as, say, a heart attack, or as long term, like it took me 2 years of going through 3 years, really, to fucking fully die slowly and shit because of the cancer, and then to come back from all that, it's like, why the fuck? And then the Boneyard came about, right? And then a friend of mine said we were at a rock concert one night. She was like, "Why don't you cover music on your show?" Instantly, I knew why I was here. I knew why I came back, and we do it the Boneyard, baby. You know.
Yeah. Oh, there's more going on in the background than we'll ever know. Let's put it that way. I'm not religious in any way.
No, not at all.
And I'm even less religious now than before I had this, you know, because fucking hell. I mean, for me, the title of the new album says it all. I wrote the title track, There's Only Black. That was it. One of my friends, where's my fucking... one of my friends, I was on Skype to him one night, and he went, "What was it like when you died?" And I went, bang, like that.
Yeah. I just remember going in and then waking up on the way out and telling them, "Hey, man, I think I got to take a shit." They're like, "No, you don't." I'm like, "Yeah, I think I got to shit." Like, it was like I just went to sleep and just woke up. And then I learned later, oh, fuck yeah, man, you were dead for quite a long time, man. Like,
tell me, how come the idea to form the Venom? So I want to know that history from you.
Oh yeah, before we gotta.
The very first Venom.
Yeah, the very first.
With Clyde Borcher.
Is it true that you and Kronos was in the same theater and you perform some stuff, or no?
Kronos was the last person to join the original Venom. He joined at my invitation, and the young lady who is in my house up there was my girlfriend at the time. It was her best friend who introduced me to Kronos in 1978.
Oh wow!
And that was, and I mean, at that point, I was looking for another rhythm guitarist. Abaddon joined my band. I had a band in existence. I had put a call out for a drummer. He came to the audition. He joined. The bass player said that I had at the time. The bass player said, "Is he joining the band?" I went, "Yeah." And he went, "Well, if he's joining, I'm leaving." But when Abaddon came along, he brought Clive Archer. Clive Archer became the singer. We had a bass player in place. And I would say we were actually in the process of joined the band. There was a lot of Buried Alive, Raise the Dead, Red Light Fever, fucking Angel Dust. All that stuff was written before he joined the band. So, you know, I mean, it's no secret that I'm writing a book about Venom and about my life and all that kind of stuff. And it's taken a hell of a long time, but, you know, I am doing it. But the whole absolute truth is in that book when it comes
I'm a big reader of the biographies. Like, I've read Jim Morrison's, right? Fucking Johnny Cash, fucking all them. I've actually just started Al Jurgensen's from Ministry, man. What a read that is. And if you got one, I'll definitely be reading yours when it comes out for sure, man. I'll put it on my book list. That's exciting.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know,
yeah, there's a, you know, in the chapters of that book, I mean, there will be a lot of things that people don't like, you know, but hey, if you want the truth, it's there and it's going to be told. You know?
He's like, "What about the film?"
I want to pose that questions for later. Yeah.
In the internet and in the press and stuff. Nah.
So, Jeff, when you have the book, I want to send me a signed version. So, for me, the price, it's no problem. Just send me if you need some promotion about the stuff,
at some point.
Yeah,
hey, Jeff,
I'll keep an eye out for it.
Are you going to be going to tour in Mexico anytime soon?
Mexico.
Frozen.
Oh.
What?
Can you still hear us? We froze on his end there on him.
Frozen.
On who?
He'll loop back.
On Jeff? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
want to
that's
find
all
out if they're going to be going down to Mexico, like in Mexico City or Monterrey, so I can go up there and meet up with them. Want to get that vinyl signed.
Right.
Just say it's once.
Everybody's
It's
frozen.
no problem. It's done.
Mhm.
Okay, where is the marker?
Right. Well, either way, guys, I think you got to know the crowd that we'll be collaborating with. So we're going to be working on some radio shit. We'll release all that when the time comes. And then once in a while, keep an eye out. These guys will be popping in and out of the Boneyard whenever they want. I know fucking Eller, you got some shit. You got a band. We got to get you on, man. You know?
Yeah.
So.
And we got to do Enzo right now anyway.
Yeah.
You know, his story.
Oh
Swarm
God.
here for man. Swarm here.
Yeah,
for
it freeze. I saw it freeze the picture.
There it
So,
goes.
Yeah, the Jeff didn't listen to anything because now it's frozen again, I think.
Yeah. No, there he is. He's moving.
Yeah,
No.
he's moving. Okay.
Hey, Jeff, are you there?
No, he can't hear us. So we're froze on his end.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah. Good time to interview Edo here.
Oh God.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon, man. We'll
All
let him
right,
just.
Jeff.
Stay safe, brother.
See ya.
Take
Yeah.
care, man. Take care.
There we go.
So I
Enzo,
prefer to start me with Enzo. So if you want.
I'll touch.
let me start off. Enzo, when you guys started out in the late 80s, you know, and joined Warner Brothers, how did that come about? I mean, how did you guys get connected with Warner Brother? And I guess let's go with the little backstory before you got signed. How you all met and all that.
Right. Okay. So we started around about 86. Me and Milo, we were good friends. So we became friends via me playing in one of his friends' bands, and that's how me and Milo met. So we hooked up together after a year or two of knowing each other, and we kind of started sort of writing stuff together. And then we got Andy Gagic on drums because Milo knew him because he was a friend of his through Serbian church.
Yeah, the Gagic was Serbian or Bosnian?
There we go.
Gagic is Serbian. Dalmatia. So we got together, and then we got Paul, who was in a local band, because we wanted a vocalist, and we got Paul. So that was the core of the band, us four, and we've been through different bass players. Most notable bass player we had was Stuart Morrow from New Model Army. So he joined us as well from the second album. But going back to your question about Warner Brothers, that all came about because we managed to get ourselves a Friday rock show session on Radio 1 from the legendary Tommy Vance, which was a UK rock show on the main sort of radio station in the UK, hosted by Tommy Vance. And he picked up, I sent him our demo. We did a demo, 3-track demo, and he picked up on that. And he basically invited us to come down to London to do a Radio 1 session to record the 3 tracks that were on the demo. And that was basically the catalyst that led us to getting interest from management, who then capitalized on the interest from the Radio 1 session, who then enticed a few labels to come and see us and get interest in us. And it was Warner Brothers that eventually, after seeing us do a showcase in an empty venue in our local town, a big empty venue called the Queen's Hall, we had to play in front of 4 or 5 record label executives to an empty hall, to these 4 guys, as if we were playing to an audience. And that's what got us basically signed.
Wow, that would be weird. What?
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's one thing to say do a show, you know, at a bar where nobody knows you and 4 people show up, you know. But
why didn't they just come and see us at a gig? I mean, we had other labels coming to see us at a gig, Polydor, EMI. They came to see us at gigs and showed their interest, and we got wined and dined. And we had you know Paradise Lost. You know Paradise Lost. and Devin Townsend and Opeth, their manager. Andy Farrow was our manager. So before he took all these bands, he was basically a new manager, and we were his first sort of band. So he was quite a talented manager, and he still is, because he's obviously got 3 huge bands on his roster. So he basically, it was through his wheeling and dealing that we managed to secure a lot of interest. But to be honest with you, we were always looking for Music for Nations. We went down to Music for Nations, knocked on the door, and tried to get onto Music for Nations. That was the label that had Dark Angel, Metallica,
Right.
Exodus. That was putting out all the Bay Area thrash, and the sort of, the backlog of thrash bands was on Music for Nations. We wanted desperately to get on there, but they didn't really entertain us. They weren't really keen. So that's why we went for the major label, because they were willing to invest in us, basically.
Nice.
They mismanaged you quite a bit, though, on that label. Am I right?
The label didn't know what to do with us, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare sometimes. We had problems with like artwork and just sort of freedom of wanting to do things. They wanted us to go the way that the label saw and believed that we should go. This sort of, it wasn't really an underground sort of philosophy behind their sort of perspective of things. They kind of wanted us to go down the sort of typical record label route, major label route. They basically thought they were signing a Metallica, and that's what they were looking at. They had pound signs in their eyes, and they were just looking at, oh, we've got the UK version of Metallica.
Yeah.
Well, because when you listen to the first song off of the work of the Idle Hands, it kind of does remind you of old school Metallica, and when
they were an influence. Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna say,
no two ways about it. They were an influence, but I think they influenced so many people as well. Do you know what I mean? So, everybody. It was something that stuck with us. Metallica label.
Enzo, I have one question for you. Now you come back with the reunion after 30 years and plus.
Yeah.
But you gonna do some shows, or you gonna produce one new album?
We're gonna do everything. We're gonna try and do everything. We've got some shows. We had a slot on the invitation to play the Manifest, which is a big folk festival.
Nice.
We was going to play with some great bands, Moonspell, Exorder. We were on the first night. It was a good lineup. That fell through, like a lot of festivals and a lot of venues in the UK, because of the current situation financially. A lot of the venues are going down, so that fell through. But that was going to be our sort of launch pad to reintroduce Slammer. It's not really a reunion, because we don't have Milo, we don't have Gadge, we don't have Stuart. Stuart and Gadge, for personal reasons, weren't able to do it. So it's just really me and Paul, and we've recruited a few other guys that we know.
So now you're 2 guitarist player, or just you?
Say that again, sorry.
You're only the guitar player, or you're 2 guitar player?
No. There's another lad called Dan who I played in bands with. Danny, he's a guitarist, because he's more of a lead guitarist. So he's covering the sort of solos that Milo did, because Milo was a great guitarist. He did some good solos. So he's basically jumped into his shoes. Obviously, he's not going to replace Milo, never ever. Do you know what I mean? God rest in peace.
Yeah.
He was the heart of the band, the danger.
Yeah, of course. Milo was a larger than life character. Do you know what I mean? Everybody loved Milo. Do you know what I mean? And this is a homage to Milo. Do you know what I mean? We would never ever think of it as anybody replacing Milo. It's just impossible. But me and Paul did the Eccentrics thing. He did a guest slot, and they did the cover of Tenement Zone, and Paul guested on that live show. And that's when I saw that, and that's when I thought, you know what? I've been wanting to do Slammer, even when Milo was alive. I've been wanting to get Slammer together, but for one reason or the other, we just never really got our shit together. And we've been in other bands, and we still are in other. I'm still in another band.
So how is the plan? You gonna do some tour, or?
Yeah, we've got a gig with with Acid Rain in Glasgow. It's a Thrasher-thon. It's Lord of the Lands, which is in September, which is a big gig in Glasgow, and then We're going to try and get some hook up with some bands, hopefully Zentrix, even Acid Rain, Evile. Try and get some gigs with these guys and go for it. And
So
hopefully,
I want to ask you something. If you need a help for some Europe tour gigs, so I offer my help because I have booking agencies, so I can help you a lot in that.
That'd be great. I mean, like I said, like we were talking about earlier, we don't know if we're able to get out because of the current situation.
Mm-hmm.
If we can,
next year will be easy because I know something, because for the next year we prepare tour with my band Slave Pit, so we come to play in England with Virus, with Coke. So I can tell you how to fix the easiest way to get there.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that's on. We'd like to do something like that. But I mean,
I will definitely be bugging you about that. I know not so much with me. I'm a single artist that collaborate with bands and bring my song to them, and then we do this riff together. You know what I mean? But to have bands from here to be able to hook them up with European tours, that would be a fucking fantastic thing for us as well, right?
Of course, man. Just say when, and
the thing is,
I'm putting the show together in my head right now, the bands I know that are looking to go, so I'll get back to you in a couple of days on that for sure. But
what we wanted to do originally was to get Onslaught, Zentrix, Acid Rain, and us to do a package.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah, but like I say, this is what we'd like to do, but it's just a total different thing. It's okay saying it, but to actually put it together is totally different. And the scene now is different. It's not like how it was back then when we were first started off. So at the moment, we're enjoying that we've announced it, and we're just going to take it nice and easy because we're all working, we've all got family, and we'll see where it takes us. And we're hoping to maybe 6 months down the line we'll start writing some new material. I'm already knocking riffs about in my head.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you right now. You got any new material that you guys are working on?
Not together yet, because we're just sort of we've just practically reborn, so we're just kind of
everything's just coming together right now. Getting
the set together, and we're not really regularly practicing as such yet. But once we get into the swing, then that's going to come inevitably, because once you start rehearsing regularly, the riffs just pop out, don't they? Do you know what I mean? So it'll come.
Now, do you got a home recording studio?
We do things like most people on the laptop at home. Yeah, I have home.
Now
studio.
for the guitars, it's easy. Only the drums. Problem.
I like to record in the studio. I like to write at home, recording on a laptop using Logic or whatever, Pro Tools, just recording, putting ideas together. But actual recording an album, I'm old school and I like to go to the studio. So
the feeling is different with the amp, with the head.
So what do you prefer? Do you prefer tape or digital?
Well, nowadays it's digital.
Don't matter.
I prefer tape, but it's just so more expensive to do tape.
Yeah.
Because most studios don't facilitate tape recordings. It's mostly digital.
Bring your old school tape recorder and hit record while you play. There you go.
We still use the amps, the old valve amps, amps, orange amps. We're still using the valve amps.
Well, nothing beats the feel of being in a studio. You just get that vibe. You're here when you're sitting at home, you just get comfortable. You're like, record that riff, you tweak it and stuff. But
this is part of it. Part of the
to get into the studio, it kind of revives. You get, this is the next step,
recording away from the family, somewhere else, and just banging it all out. That's what it's about. The other band that I'm in, Wolves in Winter, which is like a doom metal band. We recorded an album, and we went to Wales and we recorded for a week or two together with Chris Fielding, who produced it, who was the bass player in Conan. I don't know if you know Conan. I think they're in the US at the moment touring. So he's done a real good job on that album. So for Slammer, I want to do the same thing, definitely. In the studio. If we can get a label to do it, to pay for us to do it.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, are you guys talking with anybody, or are you guys going to do self-promotion this time?
Well, we've had lots of people interested since we've announced. For every day I'm talking to somebody, but like I said, we're not committing anything at the moment because we just want to get up and running. We just want to get going,
Yeah.
and then
It takes a lot to get ready to do the album or even to go on a tour. You got to be physically fit. A lot of people don't understand how much energy it takes to get up and throw your 20-pound guitar around and fucking dance and move and shit.
To do this tour and that tour, but you know what? We can't just drop everything and do that. We're all sort of knocking on the. I mean, I'm 55. You know what I mean? I can't just drop my job and just.
Actually, the youngest one here today. That's amazing. Normally, I'm the oldest. This is great.
I'd love to be able to do that, but you know, it's just financially we can't do that. So we're just taking it easy, and we can. The good thing about it is we can cherry pick the best sort of
do the festival. You know, you go for the weekend, crush it out with 50 bands, and then you know.
So, and plus. We're restricted as well with being in the UK. You know, we can only play so many places in the UK. We'd love to play America. We'd love to play South America. Europe.
What about down there in Scotland?
Yeah, that's our first gig. It's going to be Glasgow.
Okay.
Yeah. I know a good band over there in
Glasgow. Glasgow from where we are.
Scotland, you should check out Ren and the Berserkers, man. A good buddy of mine out of Ireland there, man. They're a fantastic little a Viking metal band, right? But
Ireland was ace. When we played with Onslaught in Ireland, we went back a few times. Ireland was fucking amazing, brilliant.
Yeah,
great crowd. Really warm.
Trying to get there this fall and go visit him and shit and watch him play and all that, right? Cover it all here in the Boneyard, but fuck, I'm so busy this year, man. It's unreal. It's stupid. It's like I'm on tour by myself, going around to all these things, you know, making sure I get coverage of them, you know, promote these bands and push those bands. It's like fucking crazy.
It's a lot to take on if you're gonna sort of take it serious.
Yeah, actually, Hollywood there, she does the behind the scenes stuff normally, so she's already doing so much. So I'm taking care of this side of things now with the radio and booking the shows, setting the festivals. And fuck. Thank God for her booking like for the actual, because this was a spur of the moment show today. I wasn't planning on going live, but when it's right, you know. Right?
Go with the flow. Go with the flow.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah.
And I have Jeff on today. Wow, that was a legend right there on his own, you know. And then you guys, fuck, you know. And
I wanted to chat with him a bit more, but obviously he's got to go. So
yeah, but we'll get him on with the radio. He'll be on hosting now and again. Like I said,
you got him in the chat room on Messenger. He's in there, so just go ahead and add him.
Yeah. I want to ask him about Tony Bray, and you know, the old drummer, because he was our first tour manager. Tony Bray, the drummer from Venom. Back in the days, back like 1987 or 88 or 89, I can't remember now. He was our first tour manager. He was such a dude. What a dude he was.
That's awesome, man.
I want to ask Jeff if he's still in touch with Tony. Like to see him again, man. Like to see him again.
Yeah, Jeff's a stand-up guy, man. I was very happy that he got to be here and do this, you know, with us.
Yeah. And to sit behind the stage before we even went live, we talked half an hour behind, just to sit and shoot the shit with everybody.
I thought you were going to start recording because I thought it was a good topic that we were talking about the visa problems.
Yeah, but we won't cover that, obviously. That's a big problem in the music industry, man, when it comes to that right now. So that will always come up.
Yeah, it's the topic of the moment is the problems with the gigs. I mean, you know, I was talking about merchandise. We've got another problem over here about merchandise. I don't know if it's the same for you guys over there, but even venues are taking the larger venues take a cut of your merchandise.
I ran into that this year. We tried to put together a show, and we had everything lined up, and then the venue was like, well, we want money from this. And then if you're gonna, because part of the deal I do is I feed the bands that come for me, right? and then make sure they get a good dinner and shit. You know, you got to keep them happy, right?
It's
But they wanted a cut of their merch, and then
Why?
I had to
Why?
feed
Why?
everybody else. If I fed them, it wasn't fair to the other people that weren't involved with the Boneyard, but were part of the show. You know, like it was like.
Why did they do that? Why?
You see, I can understand if it's one of the people from the venue that is actually selling your merchandise, they get a percentage. But if you're selling your own merchandise, no.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't have anything to do with it because you paid for the merch to have it made. You're there selling it. You're just
Well, as someone that's getting into the promotion, I've got to pay I pay the venue already. So they have already got their money. Now they want the door tickets. They don't give you a percentage of the alcohol that you bring in and that people buy and shit, right? And then I've already paid the bands. I pay them before they even set foot on stage to make sure they're taken care of, because I know what it's like to go on tour and you get there and there's no place to stay. There's no hotel. Now you just drive straight to the next venue and you've got to play that night.
Yeah, that depends what kind of venue it's.
See, I don't think
venues, no backstage, no nothing. So I think in the professional club, man, when you go inside, you're like, what the fuck is this club? And you know, where is the backstage?
Give me an air fryer or toaster oven. I can make you a pretty good meal, you know.
I'm gonna
backstage. I say it's no room like backstage.
Look, I'm gonna tell you a story.
Read your contract, right? Read your contract.
I'm gonna tell you something. Pantera, before they made it big, right? They had it when they performed. They had a negotiation in there. They get a percentage of the beer sale, and the venues were like, "Why?" And they're all, because everyone's going to come up and see us. They're going to buy a lot of beer.
Yeah.
They're going to come right up there and see us. And well, they had it in their contract. They got a percentage of the beer sale.
Wow, eh? Back in the day,
Pantera was making money before they became
we're
famous.
like signed and stuff. Yeah.
We played. I think their first show in the UK, we played with them.
Nice,
The
eh?
Marquee in London.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. This was before the Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah. So
First
far
show-
beyond
first time we played
driven.
in the UK. We opened for them at the Marquee.
That's sick, man.
You know how I met?
I can't remember jack shit about that gig.
No.
I do
Right.
know we opened for him.
I met Dime and his brother Vinny at the park down there in Arlington. They were out there playing some acoustic guitar. Me and my ex, we were sightseeing and we ran into him because she smelled herb. They're all toking up, and so she went right over there, and we sat down with them, and that's how I met him. And Dime invited us to his house and all that. She was getting high with him. I was over here checking out his rig. And him and Jam's Rockmore. Jam was telling me the story about Pantera, how they got a percentage of their beer cut before the shows. So if I was you guys, I would negotiate that in. Maybe the venues might not like it. Maybe they will.
No, if you do
They don't like it.
you will get playing, so there won't be show for you. Trust me.
Yeah.
I guarantee
It's rough,
like,
bud.
if they're big like Metallica, they're giving them a cut.
I'm basically going to buy my own land in the next little while just to build my own stage so that I don't have to deal with venues anymore, man. That's how shitty it is to do this job, man.
You can do the American Legion. You can go rent out with the American Legion Hall.
Talking about that with somebody yesterday about my buddy Devin. I work with him, but he's also in a band, and I was talking about just renting out the Legion because they already supply the booze, everything. The bands just show up, you pay them, and they play. Fucking.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
we'll see.
This whole pay to play thing and percentage. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
So the problem is now everything is business, man. You need to
Mhm.
pay to get
Yeah,
small.
the whole industry has changed. You got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
venues stealing from the bands for no apparent reason, just because they want more money.
Well, they
know?
need more money because everything's more expensive, apparently, right? And fucking, a beer cost like $2 before the world ended there, and then now that
Yeah.
we're back and running, it's $8. That makes no sense to me, man.
It's free, man. You buy for 20 cents, 30 cents, and you sell it for $5.
Yeah, I'm starting to make my own meat, but I got my big glass container here ready. All I got to do is wait for my package to come in for my fermenter piece. I'm making it by so it takes a while to get done, but once it's done, I'm gonna
Start making
have one
some
every 3
moonshine.
months. Yeah, well, that's what we did when I lived down south. But my cousin and them were the cooks. I just helped. I never really paid attention, but now I wish I did because I'd have it still in my room, but just to save money,
And I
right?
want to ask you,
Enzo,
there is possibility to find first press of the idol of your album, or if you keep or know someone who have it.
The first press, did you say? First
Yeah.
pressing, or the number one?
The first press, no, number one. First
With
press,
the first album, when it was released, there was a limited edition run of, I think, 500.
yeah.
And it had a number that was pressed onto the cover, so it ran from 0001 to 500, I think. And
Yeah.
so the number one record that's got the number one, I've got 003.
Yeah.
Who's got 01 and 02? That's a good question. I
The
haven't got a
idea
clue.
is,
Right.
in the Europe or in the world, we say the first press, like the first album, like it's 500 or 100. This is the first press, not like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
number 001.
Yeah. Well,
So I want to have it one because did that album, change, a lot of the stuff. And when we speak with Milo, he have all the tape.
I'd give you mine, but I've only got one left. I give all mine away.
You got to keep the one then, yeah.
I know how that is. I mean, I remember when I made my first album, and at the time, it was going from vinyl to CD, and we had cassettes, vinyl, and then I remember my friend, when it got released, he comes down to my house, and Chad, good friend of mine, he goes to my house, and he's all, why are you so happy? I'm all, dude, my album just got dropped in all the stores. He's all, bullshit. I'm all, no, let's go down to Sound Warehouse. We go to Sound Warehouse, right? And then he finds it on cassette. And then when they go ring it up, it doesn't come up on the scanner yet because it's still updating in the system. And this is like a ghost album.
Right.
It's there. But he got 0025. And a lot of people don't understand those first albums, have that 001 all the way up to the 500.
Yeah, depends how many copies. So the fun is, I don't have CDs from my album, I don't have original CDs from my album. I sold everything and I give everything like a gift.
Yeah.
And one day I say, okay, I will keep this disc for me. And there was one very best friend said, Sashko, I come in Bulgaria just to see you. I don't think, okay, this is for you. One more. Hey, let's go to listen our music. Say, okay, you have a CD? Yes, I have. I open. Fuck, man, I don't have my CDs,
Enzo, I'm going to ask you a question. I mean, since you're breaking out in the music scene again, but you were already in the music scene, how is everything different now that you guys are starting back up again in today's age compared to the 80s and early 90s, How's it changed, and how are you guys promoting so these younger bands can get an idea of what to do correctly? You know what I mean?
The thing is, I tell you what it is, mate. With Slammer, we've already got a bit of a track record, so it's a lot easier. So, for example, the other band I'm in, Wolves in Winter, we're a fresh band, 2-3 years old. So we're having to do a lot of legwork and create that awareness through social media, basically. That is your through social media is your real sort of platform that you can get yourself exposed, other than gigging. But you can only, when you're a small band like the other band I'm in, it's totally different to being in Slammer, because Slammer, people are falling over themselves because of the reputation we had from the past. They can offer us a lot more because we've got a bit more popularity, so it's a bit easier. But for the new band, the other band, Wolves in Winter, we have to do a lot of legwork. We have to play all the shitholes. Yeah, we have to basically get in touch with people, and we get ignored a lot because they're not interested. People are more interested in something that's already established, that's they don't have to do a lot of work on. So, for example, Slammer, it's already a name. A promoter or a record label will know that they already have something that's already been built, and they can just use that and build on that. Whereas
Guys,
a fresh band, because
I'm really sorry, but I will need to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I come today from a long road, the stuff with my heels and blah blah blah.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it,
No way,
Sasha.
man.
We understand.
So my therapy for now, it's really put
Yeah.
sleeping.
No.
So,
Take.
Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you.
so of course, Enzo, the pleasure was mine because I waited
Pleasure's all mine.
for 5 p.m. But we started and okay, it's no, technical difficulties. It's always.
Take care.
So I
Nice.
can say one stuff, Slammer till the end. My brothers,
Okay,
your
man.
brothers loves you. So,
Take care, man. Take care, man.
Sure.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Interview and see you later.
Yeah.
And after
No worries.
the podcast, I'm gonna type you something. We can speak with something. And
Perfect.
guys,
Take
bye.
care, man. Nice one.
I'm trying to get this. All right. Okay. So you're doing a lot more leg work with your other band, and Slammer's more
It's we don't-
established.
Yeah, it's much more established. I mean, so for example, on social media, if we post something on the Wolves in Winter Facebook, we'll get a response of maybe 40 hits. Whereas with Slammer, you're talking 200-300.
Mhm.
I mean, so a lot more feedback.
Pretty sure I just started following you guys the other day before we even talked or anything. Like Winter with Wolves.
Yeah, I passed through their music.
Yeah, that's okay. That's how I got a hold of them. Then, I was like, oh fuck, look at this. But I see what you mean, though. You can see the difference between the two pages, but yet, right?
It's a big difference. I mean, it's a lot harder for the new bands. Like Jeff was saying, he wouldn't like to be in a band, a new band now.
Starting now, there's so much white noise out there now because of the internet. Everybody can record at home and send out music.
As well.
Yeah,
it's saturated. You have to sift through a lot of stuff to find something that you may sort of latch onto that you really, really like instantly. Gone are those days where you used to buy a record and you would have to sit with that record over the weekend or for the week and listen to that record. Now the availability or streaming is, we're all lazy. We just want instantaneous.
Well, our attention span has died because of the internet. So now instead of listening to the album, you only listen to one song. Oh, this is the song everyone's listening to. I'll listen to it too. Instead of.
It's
crazy how what I don't like is how they all want reviews. I'm like, dude, I didn't go through reviews when I was back in the early 80s and late 80s and early 90s. If I liked the group, I bought it. And who cares if the rest of the album wasn't that good? That was your band. You know what I mean?
I used to look at the covers, looking through the records and look at the covers, and then I think, oh, that looks interesting, and I'll buy it.
Usually the artwork, when I'm buying my vinyl or say CDs, the artwork is really what pulls me into it. I'm like, oh, that look, like you said, that looks cool. Let's try that out, right?
I mean, we had listening booths. You could go to certain shops and listen to certain records. Do you know what I mean? Like a listening booth. But generally, or you'd go in and they'd be playing something on the system when you walked in, and you'd hear something and think, "Oh, that's caught my attention." Do you know what I mean? Now it's, but I suppose that's just how it
I'm
is.
guilty of it though. Like the odd time, I'll hear 30 seconds of a song and be like, I don't like that, boop boop. But then I'll go chill at Hollywood's, and the whole song will come up. And because we're all there, you can't just flip through the song. And by the end of the song, I'm like, oh, that was actually a decent song. If I would have just hung in there for 10 more seconds, I would have been hooked, But
I know, man.
but
Enzo, I mean, I read up on you guys that your label didn't even notify you when they dropped you. It was a journalist or something like that.
Yeah, basically what happened was, I'm just moving my phone because my battery's going low. So So basically, I can't remember this, but Paul said, we did an interview the other day, and Paul said that we were at a gig. We were watching a band. I can't remember the gig was now, but we were watching a band, and a journalist came up to Paul and said, "Oh, really sorry to hear about you guys. I hope you're okay." So Paul said, "What do you mean? What are you saying?" He said, "Oh, you guys have been dropped." So obviously that was news to us. So Paul was basically fuming. He was ready to go and flatten the current manager, but he never did that. But I mean, he went over to him and gave him what for. So yeah, that's how we heard about it. We didn't even hear about it until we heard it from somebody else.
Oh wow, a third party.
I mean, it's sad. You got your manager there, doesn't even come up and tell you guys beforehand. You have your label, when your manager probably knew about it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just kind of like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I can't be honest. To be honest with you, I can't remember how I felt at the time, because I know that we were all pretty fed up because we'd had a pretty rough ride with the
label,
with press, and basically people were quite sort of. We had a hard time getting gigs. We had a hard time with the press. People were a bit sort of not very nice to us because they thought we'd done too much too soon. And in terms of going to a major label, it was it felt like there was a bit of jealousy going on, but it probably wasn't as bad as what we thought. We were probably paranoid. We smoked a lot of shit then. So we were probably paranoid as well. But it just felt, we had a big tax bill, and it was just a lot of things that were just building up, basically. A lot of failures with getting tours and just getting exposure, and it just kind of built up. And Paul, basically, he just kind of like flipped, and that was it. That was that. When he left, it was just sort of, we didn't really pick up the pieces after that. Do you know what I mean? So that's just what happened.
Well, back then when you guys were around, was there a lot of jealousy between groups with you guys?
I don't remember. I don't remember any ill feeling from anybody, to be honest with you. It's something that has been painted more from sort of like people remembering back and saying that, and it just felt maybe from the press more than anything, because
I was gonna say the media and the press, and then the circumstances with the label at the time would make it uneasy around those people. But with the bands itself, you're just playing like another gig with other dudes that are probably going through the same problem with their shit.
I mean, the people that we knew, they were all fine. All the bands we knew, Acid Rain and what have you, Onslaught, they were all fine. It was the media that really turned on us. So it just felt, I think, because the media turned on us, it was more. That was more what painted the picture that people didn't like us.
Yeah.
So, and I think what happened as well, you've got to think that the scene was changing once grunge came in. The scene took a big turn that way.
It took a while for, say, metal and that to come back. It wasn't until like bands like Rage and Korn and stuff kind of stepped up to the plate that the metal actually made a comeback
Yeah.
and they were playing metal again, technically on the radio because they would play one or two of their songs, you know. But
Exactly.
it definitely took a hit when grunge in the '90s come out for sure with that whole era, right? With Nirvana and Soundgarden.
Nirvana just tore everybody.
I mean,
yeah.
I like Nirvana. I like the Bleach. I love that album.
I was a '90s music kid at that time, right? So I would have been in my teenagers. So
when that came out, that was heavy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't care what anyone says. You know what I mean? It was heavy shit. I mean, it mellowed out later on, and they got a bit more polished. But
I think when they did that Teen Spirit, that just blew everything. You know what I mean?
Well, it was the video and all that to go with it, right?
Yeah.
The whole presentation of, grunge itself kind of came out in that video, right?
I saw them on the Bleach tour when they came to the UK, and they were brilliant. And then I saw them on the Nevermind tour, and it was totally different. It wasn't the same. Didn't have the same energy or anything. But
no, it was like their soul got sucked out of them through the media and these record labels in behind them, and like.
Well, we all know what the crack is with that now, but
yeah, right.
Just
there's a couple books you could read about that one.
Yeah, exactly. And the film, you can see the film as well.
Yeah.
So I need to give an apology to a couple of groups that signed our form. Last night, Gates Open and Parasite Intent, because originally, you remember I said that we were going to analyze some of their music.
Oh yeah, we will. We're still going to do all that, just not today, right?
Unfortunately, I had technical difficulties on my side,
and
I want to apologize to them, but Enzo and Jeff were here. They didn't have a problem hearing it out, but unfortunately, I had some technical difficulties where my laptop just got reformatted without me knowing about it.
Yeah.
I barely got Windows installed again.
Children free zone, bud. You need to put some baby gates around your stuff there, because they can run the shit better than you can, man. They grew up on it, right?
I always go to my kids for help with the old social media and all that bullshit, man.
Yeah.
My kids are always there at my hand to help me out.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not, because of the show and the platforms. I have to be on it, or otherwise I wouldn't even be here, man.
I gotta do the apology because I did make a commitment to them, and unfortunately,
we will.
It's what I love about you guys, man. You're thinking about everybody. You know what I mean? There's no ego tripping. You guys seem like real genuine. You've got the musicians at heart, which is brilliant to see. The spirit of it is fantastic.
All I figured the least I could do is give a platform back to something that saved my life so many times for free, other than having to buy the album and just hearing the song. You know what I mean? It's always been music that's always been there for me, right? So
respect for you guys for doing it, man. To keeping it bubbling under.
Trying, give a voice to because like you can't just go to the radio station now and hand them your CD and they listen to it and play your music. It doesn't work like that anymore, right?
It's like everything; it's all automated. You the only way you get in is if you know somebody that's in,
or you pay to play. I got 40 grand to put down to be on your tour.
Well, money talks. Money's always going to talk, no matter
right.
Wherever you are, money talks. But,
so, speaking of money, you have merch and stuff. Do you guys have merch that you guys sell or anything? Or
we're just working on something now. We're just talking to some merch people about getting some T-shirts made.
Excellent.
So we've got a new logo, and we've got some T-shirt ideas. So we're just deciding what we're going to do with that. Hopefully within a month or two. Within the next month.
When you drop them, though, let us know. Yeah.
Let us know so we can put them. I'll put them on my magazine.
Yeah, I'll post it all up for sure. Right. Send the links to where we can help support.
We'll send you some over for sure. Definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah. Right here, this is my display where I'm putting all the bands and guitar picks. So if you guys get some guitar picks, let me know. Send me a
Right.
few. I'll post them up there, and
We
you know, a CD, a poster.
cool, man. We're not. I mean, we're not on that. We're not on that level. But I mean, if we find, we don't have no like name picks or anything like that. We don't.
Well, you know what?
So-
Let me know. I can help you out with that with Raven Picks. They make
Right.
custom picks, and I'll
Okay.
hook you up.
With Winter
Okay.
Amongst Wolves, there, when you guys do go on tour, say soon, what's the most? Because you've been on tour back in the day, you've been on tour. What's the thing you look forward to the most? Because I know touring sucks so bad, but you got to look at the best part of it, right? So, like,
Well, we're still doing it, aren't we? You know what I mean? We've glutton for punishment, aren't we? So, but I still get excited for playing. It's still something that's. It's still something that's a part of the music that still gets us excited. Is going out and playing it to people that have never heard you, that have never seen you, and trying, seeing them get a buzz off you, which is it's maybe it's a bit of an ego thing, probably that's what it is.
well, it helps
not-
validate you in that sense, but you always walk off the stage humbled, when you see the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely, I'll never ever, God forbid, I'll never ever try, never be like that. It's obviously my personality to be like that, but you know what? It is a buzz to play live. It's disappointing when you travel a few hundred miles and there's nobody there. But that's not your fault. That's normally the promoter that's not really. They've done a half-assed approach of getting your gig. But generally speaking, it's always a good do. I mean, we've got some gigs lined up for Slammer, and we've got a lot of gigs lined up for the Wolves in Winter because we're promoting our new record at the moment. So we're playing London this month. We're playing some other places in and around the country. You've probably not heard about the places we're playing.
I don't know.
Who are you going to be opening with or performing with?
For the Wolves in Winter or for the Slammer?
Yeah, for Slammer.
For Slammer, we're going to be doing the show with Acid Rain. That's in
They're good, man.
September. That's in September. That's going to be an all-day event. It's
Nice.
called Lords of the Land. It's in Scotland. It's
Oh,
going to be an all-day event. It's just it's a Thrashathon. So it's going to be 10 bands, 10, 12 bands.
that's awesome.
I think Acid Rain are headlining it. We might be second on the bill. I don't know, maybe third. I think they're going to try and get some other bands in. Yes, we've been confirmed. If you go on our social media, you'll see the post. You'll see the poster for the event.
Perfect.
So,
I'll after the show, I'll get the links from everybody, and I'll put them up in the title, edit it right up there, so they can click on and follow and do what we do.
I really appreciate that. I mean, it's just another platform, but that's our first event for the Slammer, and then we're all, like I said before, we're trying to get something with Centrix, and maybe even with Acid Rain and Onslaught. We don't know really. We're just taking it slow steps at the moment. We're walking at the moment before we go anywhere.
Yeah. That's the right approach, though. You dive in with these expectations head first, and then you're gonna fall on your face once in a while. Like now you've got
we're all working. We've got family. We've got I mean, my kids are old, but Adam and drummer, he's got some young kids. We've all got jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just. This is the life. This is.
Yeah, it's hard to. I know with going back to work here now that the winter's over, we're back full time now, right? So I've had to reschedule my times for bands. Now you can only do after 8 p.m. because I don't know. I get home when it gets dark, and then I try to do the show, and then I gotta cook dinner. It's like fuck. How do you get the time? And then you guys from being from the UK and stuff, there's always a time conflict, so it's always a negotiation, right?
I was telling TJ, hey man, we're gonna have to get up early, I'm normally sleeping in when I get back from work and all that. I try to sleep in until about 12 because I'm pulling some 17-hour shifts sometimes.
Yeah, man, we're slaves, man. We're slaves. We are slaves.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We're under the thumb.
I know.
It's like this, like slaves to survive. Crackers.
I have an idea. Hold on. I have an idea. For the bands that we didn't get to play on this episode, TJ, I'm gonna send you their links to their YouTube
Yeah,
and
we'll throw them up in the title
Yeah.
as well. And then
Okay, man.
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
please, check out Open the Gates and Parasite Intent. I'll make a YouTube thing for their link or whatever because they sent me an MP3.
yeah. So just send me the YouTube link, and then I'll post it up, or their Facebook, whatever link gets you to them. I'll throw it up in the title, no problem, man.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm sorry to them. I did have technical difficulties. Enzo can vouch for that. TJ can vouch for it.
Yeah, it was a rough morning, man. Rough morning.
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
All right, Enzo. Hey, I appreciate it. Enzo, I hope to have you guys back on Into the Pit again with your other members, and we can go more in depth, especially if you guys have some new material that you want to break out when it's ready. Let us know.
Yeah, I mean,
And then,
but yeah, once we do get something, I'll let you know about it. But at the moment, like I said, it'll be a while.
just taking your time. And,
Yeah,
No,
But,
that's understandable. Do it the right way,
and then
That's all we want.
we'll touch base too about doing the radio recording, where we just take some of our local bands. You bring in some local bands, I'll bring some mine, and then we'll play them on the air. We'll give these guys airplays and stuff.
Yeah.
I got
I know.
but we're gonna walk with this one too. I don't want to fuck this up. I want to make it right. You know what I mean? So we'll make sure, and we'll bounce around between co-hosts on that. So I sometimes won't even be on the show. Dean will be hosting it that night and stuff, and then whoever can make it for the recordings, we'll make it work. We got enough of us now, so. Oh, Dan, Dean, I fuck up names all the time, so I don't say names.
Enzo calls me Dan for some reason.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Right. We'll have nicknames by the end of it all.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Just remember Pure Metal of Gods, the Boneyard, Slammer. That's all that matters to us.
Yeah. And then, we had Jeff from Venom on today, and we're working on some shit behind the stage, folks. So, like always, play it loud, play it proud, and I guess we're on live tomorrow morning. I have a show, I believe. So we'll talk to you guys then.